Okay. Now, everybody, I think they're pretty well close to your, to where you're at as far as with the netting. Is somebody not done yet with stitching? You're still working on yours and yours and you're still working on that? Okay. When you get to the point that where you're done, keep that up to where it stays, okay? Once you get finished, and like I said, the Kane size capes, if you had the larger one, they're not gonna fit exactly in here. This is the one that was done from the white templates, and so it does fit inside here. But at some point, when you finish everything and you finish stitching on your Senate, and this is what you'll have as your full-size cape. Throw it over your shoulder, see how that feels. If you wanted to look at that, take pictures of it. You see where it falls on your shoulder, where it falls in your arm, and then where it falls on your back, which should be right the middle of your back. The Wahine size cape, the Kane size cape, they'll all fall the same. Okay, so at that point, once you're done, and this will be most of you at this point right now too, because right now there's others that are finished, and now I'm going around and working with designs. And that takes a lot to work with. So as you get done, let me know you are done so I'll know who to go to next and everything, so when we get to that point. But anyway, when you're finished and then you have your Senate done, pin your netting in place. And then the next thing that you're gonna do with, what is this? Is there a regular one with inches? Please. I don't want to work in centimeters, thank you. Yeah, this is a good one because it's clear. Okay, and then just take on your ruler, and where it's 3/4 of an inch, just make a mark on it, okay? And then what you're gonna do from the edge, what you wanna do, we're just gonna make marks. You're gonna make dots that are on the net. So what we'll do is come around, for example, if I was working over there, and make sure you're doing it this way too. These longer rulers, you can see that the edge for the measuring is right on the edge. And I don't think anyone has a short ruler except somebody who I gave one to, because it has a line that's further up to start. But what you'll do is come around from this edge over here and start there, and then start making a dot every, a 3/4 of an inch up from the bottom. What we're doing is we're creating a line that this border is gonna be what you're gonna work from on everything. So your feathering will start on the black line on the border. That's where everything starts. Nothing will be below this, okay? 3/4 of an inch up is so that one, can I have a bundle? Or,
Sorry.
or no, give me a feather. Just give me a feather, it's fine.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, so when you cut these, and of course these are cut at 1.5 inches, so now once we start tying on here, and they're tied up here, you'll have 3/4 of an inch is what your feather will be over the edge of that. And what we're doing for that line is you're keeping a support behind the feather. So if we tied this on and just used the bottom line, these will be hanging off all the way down. And what'll happen is the point when you start finishing all the way through here is that the feathers will all curve under. And that's what you don't want. You want that to be able to be lay on your on the flat of your back, and then the back supports the feathers also. If you did it the other way, these will be curving under and then they won't be able to work. So that's why we'll sit here and finish this. When we start feathering, we'll feather on this line. So half of the feather where the strength of the quill is, the rest of this is just fiber, and the fiber is what's going to be rolled, which will be supported by this. It does not roll under. Okay, that's the purpose of this line. So pin, mark 3/4 of an inch all the way around first, and then when you're done, then what you want to do is to come back over here and then just start connecting the dots. Okay, so as you're doing that, your vision, peripheral vision, you should be following along the curvature of this bottom edge here, so that it keeps you from making like straight lines or going offline. Don't make big strokes. When you're doing this, just start making small strokes like this, and then if you just keep sliding your hand on the net as you're going around, you'll be better served doing that, because you'll make a more natural curvature. Because like on the cloaks, when I work on bigger frames, when I first started doing all of my work, all of my stuff was all freehand. I didn't do this, I didn't measure until I figured out it might be a good idea to measure. But, and maybe it's just me with vision and seeing that, but I can see it on the big frame. So as I'm doing this, I'm just doing long strokes to draw like a huaka, and then I'll come to a point, and then I'll start that, and then I'll keep sliding up to a point where it becomes at the width that I want it, and then and then at that point, then I would do the other side. But when I folded the cape in half, when I started to realize I needed to make that match so it would balance on there, is that they really did. They were not very, there was not much, if anything, that they were off. And then I started to learn, okay, well, maybe that's what I need to measure. So we'll be doing a lot of measurements to make sure everything is pretty well exact on here. But what I'm saying is that even though that I started by doing things in bigger, much bigger frames than certainly this, on the cloak 7 feet wide and so forth, and doing the markings, for me, yeah, that was good. I got lucky and I got hit everything when it was done. So even like when I close the cape, so when I close the cloak where I fold one into the center and one into the center here, then all of the niho matched if that's what I used on the end, and then I had diamonds. And that's what it should be, is when you do that. Although your cape is never going to close in the front, your cloak is never going to close in the front, but for you to make that exact, so when I have my cloaks hanging on a big armature, and when they're tied and everything, and when they just drape, you'll see that that's what it is. If it's off, it's going to show. And if it's off on you, as far as your ahu when you're wearing it, it's going to show too. You don't want people walking behind you kind of leaning to the left because your balance is off on the left-hand side. So, and that's why we're doing things as we're doing here. So, so exact markings all the way across and so forth. Connect all the lines, follow the curvature. And then when you get to that point, then that's when you just let me know, because everybody now from today going through the day, it's going to go into tomorrow, it's going to be the same. So when I know who's next, I'm going to go to you next, but I'm